NBC 10 News at 7. And now, coverage you trust from Southern New England's news leader.
Now at 7, free at last, North Korea releases Americans that have been held captive. And fire rips through a multi-family home in the middle of the night. Friends and family remember a local victim of violence. Good evening. I'm Tony Gugliotta. Relatives of a woman found dead in the park are remembering their loved one tonight. Providence police still investigating the death of Aretha Beard. NBC 10's Mario Hilario spoke with her sister about the family's search for answers.
Totally heartbroken, and I have no answers.
Sheila Calderon says she still can't believe her baby sister's gone. 45-year-old Aretha Beard, seen here on the left, was the youngest of 3 sisters, a mother, and just recently married, living with her husband in Woonsocket.
And I just can't believe it, that someone killed her. It was Aretha, you know? She was liked, fun, young, full of life.
Beard was found Tuesday night near the Roger Williams Park Botanical Center by 2 passers-by.
And then just a tosser. That was someone's mother. That was my baby sister. She has nephews. She has a community. She was a disabled vet, and they just throw her away, like, very upset.
Police are investigating the case as a homicide, waiting for autopsy results to determine how Beard died. Her family anxious for answers.
There was no reason to do that. No reason. If somebody knows something, they should tell.
Calderon says she has no idea who would want to do something like this to her sister, who once served in the Navy. Now she hopes justice will be served for her family.
Her birthday's coming up, Thanksgiving, Veterans Day, and she's not here. And I have no answers.
Which makes it all that much harder to accept her sister's death. Mario Hilario, NBC 10 News, Providence.
Thank you, Mario. New details this evening on an overnight car accident in Attleboro that claimed one man's life. The neighborhood news spotter taking us to I-95 in Attleboro, where a 65-year-old Natick man lost control of his SUV after traveling off the highway and into the wood line around 2 this morning. He was brought by rescue to Sturdy Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead upon arrival. And more details tonight on the case of an elderly man who was assaulted Friday morning while panhandling in Providence. Police have confirmed the identity of the man as 78-year-old Eric Brandon. Police say Brandon was sitting in a chair collecting money here on the I-95 North off-ramp when a man on a bike assaulted him and knocked him into the road. Brandon is being treated at Rhode Island Hospital. Police are asking anyone who may have witnessed the assault to contact them. On Cape Cod, a man has died from injuries in last weekend's fire. Chatham fire officials confirm 80-year-old William Allen died from burns and smoke inhalation. Allen was trying to put out a fire that started in his fireplace when the home on Woodcarver Knoll caught fire last Sunday. The Cape Cod Times says Allen was found sitting on his porch when crews arrived and that his injuries did not appear to be life-threatening at that time. The home was severely damaged in that fire. And a 3-alarm fire broke out in a heavily congested part of Worcester early this morning. Crews found heavy fire in the back of 46 Lafayette Street around 12:30. Deputy Chief Jeffrey Gardell tells NBC 10 there were reports of people trapped inside the 4-story building. And as crews began their search, a backdraft on the top floor blew out the windows of that floor across the street and knocked some firefighters down the stairs. Fortunately, there were no injuries, and everyone in the building has been accounted for tonight. Now an update from the NBC 10 I-team, drugged and raped. Brown University now confirms a young woman tested positive for a date rape drug. That student reported she was sexually assaulted after attending a fraternity party on campus last month. A Brown spokeswoman tells the I-team the victim had GHB in her system, a common date rape drug. No one has been arrested or charged in the case. The fraternity where the party was held was suspended following the incident, but denies its members were involved in any way. Rhode Island health officials say they're working with their counterparts in Connecticut to detect the overprescribing of opioids and combat prescription drug abuse. Officials say that through a new data link, prescribers and pharmacies in Rhode Island and Connecticut can now see a patient's history in both states. Dr. James McDonald heads the Rhode Island Medical Licensure and Discipline Board. He says the new agreement will help stop people from getting prescriptions filled at multiple pharmacies from several doctors and help doctors catch potential drug interactions. McDonald says the department is pursuing similar agreements with other nearby states. An Ebola update now as members of the local African community hold an educational lecture series at the State House on Saturday. Dr. Michael Fine of the Department of Health receives an award at the State House for outstanding leadership, recognizing his role in educating members of local African communities about Ebola.
Any award that comes to the Department of Health is a great honor, and any award that comes from one of Rhode Island's communities is the greatest honor.
We feel better that we are understanding Ebola, and then we have the support of a lot of people, including our own Department of Health.
Local African community members are much more comfortable now because of the education they've received about Ebola and how it spreads.
People are very happy and relaxed, okay? And they are doing the best they can, to continue to educate the people back home, all right, to make sure that they are aware, because the education is the most important thing.
And the education continues. The Liberian Community Association is planning a prayer service on December 14th at the Ebenezer Baptist Church from 4 to 6 p.m. During the Mass, they will collect donations to continue to support people in Africa that are ill or have felt the effects of Ebola on their families or community.
Even though the virus is kind of like under control, but we still got a lot of work to do.
We all have to protect Rhode Islanders. That is the key. We have to protect Rhode Islanders, and that's very important for us.
NBC 10 in your community tonight. Hundreds gathered today at the Massachusetts National Veterans Cemetery in Bourne with one goal: placing 57,000 flags throughout the cemetery.
Oh, say, can you see? Oh, you don't say why.
Today's program, called Operation Flags, is in memory of Medal of Honor recipient Sergeant First Class Jared C. Monty, killed in action in Afghanistan in 2006. The cemetery first opened in October of 1980 and now keeps the memory of over 50,000 veterans across southern New England. And tonight will be the last full water fire lighting of the season, dedicated to those who served our country. Water fire will be saluting to veterans tonight, which just got underway at 6 o'clock. NBC 10 cameras earlier there for the salute, which happened shortly before 5 this afternoon.
It was a good way to serve, as the focus at that time was, what can you do for the war effort? And when I saw the posters saying, Uncle Sam wants you, I thought, well, that's something I can do for the war effort. So I decided to join the Navy.
Well, and we thank her and all of the veterans around the region for their service. Tonight's water fire will feature 150 veterans in a torch procession and 300 vets in a ring of fire in Water Place Basin. Coverage you trust continues. New at 7 o'clock, President Obama picks the successor to Eric Holder for the Attorney General job. And also ahead, North Korea released 2 Americans that had been in custody in that country.
And all right, everyone, here we are in November. All eyes are on colder air that may be coming for the end of the week. High clouds out there right now. I'll let you know if that thing around the Great Lakes is going to bring anything here. What a beautiful sunset, huh? This was Tioga Lake in Coventry from Debbie Ogney. More of your Facebook weather photos and my updated 7-day forecast coming up.
Closed captioning on NBC 10 is brought to you by Cardi's Furniture. Nairobi offers same-day mattress eye delivery 7 days a week.
President Barack Obama has nominated Loretta Lynch, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern Division of New York, to the office of U.S. Attorney General. If confirmed, she will be the first black woman to serve in that position. NBC's Dan Sheneman reports.
In a rare Saturday announcement, President Obama made his nomination for the next Attorney General of the United States.
I can think of no better public servant to be our next Attorney General. Let me introduce to you Ms. Loretta Lynch.
Lynch, who has 30 years of courtroom experience, currently heads the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York, one of the most high-profile in the country, prosecuting corruption, gang activity, police misconduct, and terrorism cases.
Loretta might be the only lawyer in America who battles mobsters and drug lords and terrorists and still has the reputation for being a charming people person.
If confirmed, Lynch will become the first black woman to ever lead the Department of Justice, taking over for Eric Holder, who announced he was stepping down in September.
I pledge today to you and to the American people that if I have the honor of being confirmed by the Senate, I will wake up every morning with the protection of the American people my first thought.
Lynch has already been confirmed twice in the Senate, when named U.S. Attorney by President Clinton and then again by President Obama, and analysts say her apolitical record may help.
She's not someone where when you look at her resume, she really screams Democratic establishment. What she screams is that she's a very competent prosecutor, and she's there because she distinguished herself as a career prosecutor, not as someone with political connection.
But some believe the question is when those hearings may happen, during the lame duck end-of-year session or after the Republican power shift in January. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
Coverage just continues new at 7 o'clock. The last Americans held by North Korea are on their way home tonight. Plus, let's look live now out over the city of Providence. A beautiful fall day out there, followed by quite a nice evening, although a bit chilly. RJ will be along with the full forecast.
Storm Team 10 reports are brought to you by Tarbox Toyota Hyundai, where you're in the driver's seat.
The two remaining Americans who had been held in North Korea have been released and are on their way home tonight. Reporter Mary Maloney has more.
Two American detainees have been released by the North Korean government. Kenneth Bae and Matthew Todd Miller were allowed to leave the country Saturday, just weeks after another American detainee, Jeffrey Fowle, was released. They were the last known Americans being detained by the communist nation. Bae and Miller's release follows a rare diplomatic trip by U.S. Director of National Intelligence James Clapper. North Korea initiated the trip, contacting the U.S. government and urging them to send a cabinet-level official to Pyongyang to discuss the detainees. Clapper's office says the U.S. government is facilitating the men's return home, but it's not clear when exactly they'll arrive in the U.S. According to a State Department official, there was no quid pro quo for the men's release. Former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Bill Richardson believes the move is a sign Kim Jong-un may be changing tactics in dealing with the U.S.
Decisions like this are made at the highest level, and if it was without any conditions, as it appears to be, he's signaling to the U.S., hey, maybe we should start talking, and that's good.
Bae had been held in North Korea since 2012. In April 2013, he was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor for hostile acts against the North Korean government. Miller had been detained since April. According to state-run Korean Central News Agency, he was also convicted of acts hostile to North Korea and sentenced to 6 years hard labor. I'm Mary Maloney, reporting.
All right, for all you winter lovers out there, I checked the record books. It was the middle of November last year when we had our first 1/10 of an inch of snow at TF Green Airport. Some of you had the first snowfall last weekend in southeastern Massachusetts. No snow in the immediate forecast. We have hazy skies on the People's Credit Union Skycam network from Iggy's Doughboy and Chowder House in Warwick. We're looking at Bristol on the East Bay. Temperature 40, dew point 31. We have a south-southwest wind at 6. Barometer rising, an indication that a bubble of high pressure is moving in. Facebook weather photos. Ooh, breezy and beautiful at Satuous Point from Renee Souza. She liked my page. When you do that, that gives you permission to post to my page. And Brad Sherman got this last splash of color, a past peak in southern New England, Fort Ninigret in Charlestown. More pictures coming up at 11 o'clock, so you can still get one on the Facebook page. And check out the Time Tunnel tunes while you're there. 40 in West Gloucester, 41 in Worcester. Hey, it's fun. 47 in Vineyard Haven. I used to be an old DJ. I used to be a DJ, not an old DJ. So I get it out of my system there on the Facebook page with YouTube links. We have winds that are still a little gusty along the coast and on the islands, making it feel a little chilly. So if you're going to Waterfire tonight, you will need a jacket. 40 to 44 at 10 o'clock tonight with some hazy stars and a hazy moon rising in the eastern sky. Mid to upper 40s at 8 a.m. A little breezy in the morning. We'll call it cool by the afternoon. Seasonable temperatures in the mid-50s. So, yeah, seasonable Sunday, seasonable Monday, too, with more sunshine, not a hazy sky. Hazy, milder Tuesday near 60 into Wednesday morning. Then a front pushes through, colder air settles in, watching the potential for a development of an ocean storm that may clip parts of southern New England, maybe the Cape and the islands. as we get towards Thursday, but we'll be watching that here on NBC 10, Thursday night and Friday. All right, this system up here, the dynamics are going to keep it heading towards the north. So watching southern New England, hazy cool overnight. Any rain or snow showers staying central northern New England. Hazy cool start to the day, hazy cool in the afternoon. That front stops in central New England, moves back up north. This front will eventually make its way into southern New England, but mild in advance of that before that happens Wednesday afternoon. Southwest winds 20 knots in the morning, 10 knots in the afternoon. Sunset at 4:31. Where do old DJs go? They become weathermen. 57 on Sunday. 58 on Monday, 62 Tuesday, Wednesday, 60 in the morning, then colder in the afternoon. Front comes through without incident. Sun and clouds gusty, chilly on Thursday, 45, possibly some flakes towards southeastern Mass on Friday. We'll watch that. That could change. And then clearing chilly next Saturday.
You're not even an old weatherman. How could you have been an old
right, Steve,
DJ?
It's all the semantics.
Former DJ.
Right,
all
there you go.
I do enjoy those time tunnel tunes, Archie.
Check it out.
Everybody, do it. Thank you so much. All right, NBC 10 cares about families in need during the holiday season. And for that, we need your help. NBC 10 is teaming up with Shaw's and the Salvation Army. We're collecting enough food to feed everyone who'd like to have a Thanksgiving meal but can't afford one. You can drop off all non-perishable items in bins placed at any Shaw's location right up until Thanksgiving week. Sports coming up next.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Kolb. Rhode Island is known for many things, but football is not really one of them. However, Bryant might have a beef with that. The Bulldogs ranked 21st in the FCS coming into today, and they're undefeated in the Northeast Conference, so hey, maybe football is on the rise here in the Ocean State. Starting the second quarter here, Bulldogs up 7, but Duquesne's Chris King, a 6-yard touchdown. Dukes tie the game at 14. Same score now, next drive for Bryant when Dalton Easton connects with Rico McCray in the end zone. 23 yards for this score. Bulldogs up 20-17. A minute left in the game. Duquesne's with a chance to tie, but Austin Crimmins misses a 28-yard field goal. Good outcome there for Bryant. 20-17 the final. Bulldogs remain undefeated in the NEC. Also on the road today, Brown was visiting Yale. This game also decided by just 3 points. Let's go straight to the fourth quarter. Marcus Fuller threw for nearly 400 yards. Here he hooks up with Alex Jett from 28 yards out. That cut it to 3. But later in the quarter on 4th and 1, Tyler Varga, 23 yards to the house, over 200 yards and 2 TDs for him. Bears lose a close one today, 45-42. On the other side, let's be positive. Big crowd, beautiful day at URI today. TJ Anderson had only 1 carry, and this was why. He fumbles the football. Shane McNeely recovers it for New Hampshire. That led to this right here on 4th and goal just before the half. Nico Staridi, his first of 2 touchdowns on the day. Rhodey drops to 0-10. 41-14 the final. 14 straight losses now for the Rams. Meanwhile, a couple high school games in our area today. Mount Pleasant and Johnston here. Second quarter, the Kilties decide to air it out. And would that be a good decision or what? Trevine Clark coming down with the long touchdown grab. Mount Pleasant walking away with the W, 35-21. Over in North Smithfield, the Northmen hosting Burrillville. This also from the second quarter. Zachary Tays with a little stiff arm right here gets into the end zone. Broncos win the Division IV regular season title. Good for them. 38-0 the final. Don't look now, but college basketball season is here. Providence hosting its only preseason game today. And while the game itself was pretty much irrelevant, it did garner a lot of attention because it's our first chance to see a group of new players that's ranked among the top 25 in the country. The Friars taking on Ed Cooley's alma mater today. Stonehill at the dunk. First half, Ben Till, just granted eligibility this week, gets the hook shot to fall, 2 of his 13 on the day. Later in the half, Tyler Harris with the air ball here, but don't worry, Ladante Henton cleans it up, gets it back to him as he's cutting in for the easy 2. Henton had 16, Harris a game high 19 points. Friars roll 93-49. PC opens the season next Saturday against Albany. Quick update now on what looked like a very serious injury last night. Rookie point guard Marcus Smart injured his ankle Friday night in a win over the Pacers. You can see on the replay right here, he stepped on the foot of Lavoy Allen. Ouch. The team said today, though, Smart suffered a sprain and a bone bruise, expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks. By the way, Rajon Rondo also not in the game tonight. He had a pin removed from his hand, but should be back on Wednesday. Coming up tomorrow night, the Revolution will be hosting the Crew in the second leg of the Eastern Conference semis. And barring a collapse, the Revs should advance to the conference finals. As long as New England loses by less than 3 goals, they'll be all right. They will most likely move on to play New York. The Revolution beat Columbus 4-2 in the first game of this aggregate series. The tiebreaker always goals, so the Revs have 4 of those. Jay Heaps told us earlier this week he's not taking this one for granted, though. Kickoff in that one tomorrow night at 5 p.m. And finally, how about some state championships? Division I girls soccer between LaSalle and Portsmouth. Penalty kick in the second half here. Michelle De Silva misses, but then she scores the rebound. LaSalle tying the game at 1-1. We go to penalty kicks. And in the PKs, Natalie Yaw, she scored earlier in the game, and she delivers the game winner. Portsmouth wins in a shootout. Congrats to them. We'll have more soccer highlights and reaction coming up tonight at 11. Certainly an exciting game right there. It was fun being at that one.
What a great way to end it for that young lady. That's really cool. And congrats to all the teams involved in the state tournaments and playing tonight, too.
Right.
All right, RJ, what kind of weather is going to be out there?
Well, we have a cool night tonight. If you're going out to the last water fire of the year in Providence, it's going to be chilly. Temperatures 35 to 40. 57 Sunday, 58 Monday. Tony, can you see the numbers here on the 7-day?
I do.
I just took a call in the newsroom. A gentleman said, RJ, I can't see your numbers on your 7-day. I said, maybe because you're laughing too hard. And then he started laughing. 62 Tuesday.
Maybe he's an old viewer.
60, no, he was right middle of the road. 60 Wednesday, but then much colder Thursday, 45. Friday, 40. Overnight lows in the 20s. May get clipped by an ocean storm. We'll be watching that all week.
Yeah, I do like those 60s in there. All right, guys, thanks so much. Thanks for watching. See you at 11.